Hi, I'm Justus, your spiritual fitness coach. And speaking of fitness, one of the hobbies I've enjoyed for quite a few years now is distance running. Whether it's training for a half marathon, a 5K, or even just going for a run to clear my mind, there's one thing that I've learned from distance running. It's not always about who's working the hardest or even about who's the fastest. It's about setting the right pace that is both equally challenging and sustainable. I remember running races where I started off way too fast, and as a result, I could barely finish at the end. On the other hand, I remember races where I overcompensated the other way, and I walked away from the race feeling like I didn't give it my all. There's a middle ground that we have to find through practice. Our spiritual lives are like a distance race. If we try to do too much at once, we're going to quickly burn out and get exhausted. If we don't do anything at all, we won't experience the transformation that comes from a life that grows from following Jesus. Hebrews chapter 12 talks about this very idea. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up, and let us run with endurance the race God has before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now he is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne. For today, I want to focus on one key principle from this text. We are not just supposed to run the race however we want. We are to run the race with endurance by keeping our focus on Jesus. Keeping our eyes focused on Jesus means that we aren't adding too much to our schedule to the point where we feel like we're sprinting. It also means that we aren't just sitting back, withholding ourselves from anything, but we're making space in our lives for Jesus to work and help us grow. Of course, this growth can be challenging. Later in Hebrews chapter 12, we read this: "No discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful, but afterward there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way." Growing spiritually is challenging, and while we're in the middle of it, there are parts that are very difficult. Remember, running the race with endurance means we're focusing our eyes on Jesus. How does Jesus show us how to overcome challenges? Look at what verse 2 says. Jesus endured the pain of the cross, overcame it from rising from the dead, and set us all free because of it. In the same way, if we allow God to work through our challenges and have an open mind for what he has in store for us, our challenges can produce endurance and the ability to understand more about God and ourselves. So today, take some time to pray about and assess where you're at in your spiritual journey. Is there too much on your plate and you feel like your pace is unsustainable? Are you lackadaisical and you feel like your pace isn't pursuing Jesus like it needs to? As you pray for the Spirit to guide you in your next step, allow your mind to rest in the peace and strength of Jesus so that you can run with him at your side through every joy and every tough moment. Now go and win today.